welcome back to this podcast.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining.
Bro.
Yeah, thanks for joining this podcast.
We love it.
Yeah, appreciate you coming by again. Yeah.
It's like we just left the front door open for you all.
Dude, for a long time too. It was like, I don't know if this is even reasonable to do.
Okay, so
in this economy too.
I'm not jumping into that one.
Yeah.
My first question to you though is, what do you know about 1969 when we went to the moon?
What do I know?
Yeah.
Well, I know it's extremely controversial.
Well, no, I'm just curious. What do you think though?
I mean, I've heard really good evidence both ways, like multiple different times, and it's just like, I don't know. I kind of like everybody's interpretation.
So you just like both sides, and you just decided that you're not gonna pick either
it's
one.
the ambiguity of some sort of event like that just like honestly makes me excited about like humans like remembering things.
That's
because
so
it's like
boring.
It's what makes history so interesting. Is it's like, oh, okay, well, like this just happened, and like there's all these different takes, and if you're this person you say this, if you're this person you say that.
Yeah.
And it's just like kind of funny because like I really don't even know, like there's just a lot of like what I don't know, but then everyone's like, well, dude, I've heard like both angles, and I don't know, I can't say one or the other.
You're just not gonna pick. Okay.
I have no side. I really don't. I don't
All
even, and I don't have a stake.
That's
either.
okay.
You know, it's not
You
like
don't have a
something
stake in the game. Okay.
As not an astronaut,
Yeah.
I do not have a stake in this game.
I met Buzz Aldrin. He was one of the
You
other...
did?
I did, in person. I went to one of his...
Did he have a firm handshake? Did you check it out?
I mean, it
You
was...
going for
it
a
was
left-hander,
normal...
dude?
I'm sorry, Buzz.
Going for a left-hander confused the shit out of this guy. Buzz Aldrin's like, Jesus motherfucking Christ.
Who is this guy?
Dude, this guy's coming in with a rogue left hand. And you go in with absolute confidence. That's what
That is not what I did. I
so
just went in as a normal person, shook his hand.
So we'll jump back into this, but I think talking about like male podcasts and things, I swear I heard about a male podcast saying something about like masculinity essentially being like the emanation of like confidence.
Yeah.
And like just displaying confidence publicly is like what makes masculinity a thing. And I was like, I don't know if that's really like it's a very like trite way to like categorize all of like masculinity or whatever.
It's one way to look at it.
It is for sure, right? And it goes back to the whole
okay,
like
well,
piece
hold
of
on.
pie.
How many times do you see a guy then that holds this type of confidence and you say, "Oh yeah,
The Rizzatron.
He's got some Riz." Right.
Dude, who's the Riz Daddy, dude?
There is none.
There is no Riz Daddy.
I do think that there is a certain type of confidence that comes from a dude
that
who
imbues
feels
like
very self-aware of himself, and you can tell who those people are. I feel like so.
Yeah,
Whoever did say that, I think is on to something.
Yeah, they were not right. Like it was kind of like, yeah, there's definitely that factor, and I just wanted to bring that up because I'm like, I'm seeing so many male podcasts right now.
I'm not seeing any.
I'm seeing a lot, dude. I'm seeing some of my favorite people.
It's
like
okay.
Danny McBride was on a podcast with Theo Vaughn.
Actually, I shouldn't say that I'm not seeing many because look at all these basketball players that are doing it, right?
Yeah.
And they're actually doing well.
I need more.
I actually enjoy
players
watching
doing
them
shit,
than I enjoy watching the analysts on ESPN. The reason why?
Yeah,
these
true.
guys aren't completely scripted.
Yeah, they like know what they're
doing.
doing.
They're ex-professionals,
They're
so
actually, like,
they know exactly what they're talking about,
Yeah.
where these analysts from ESPN sometimes, they're just,
They're
just out to lunch,
They're
dude.
dude, and they're a special breed.
Yeah.
ESPN is a special breed. They make...
I do like Stephen A. Smith. He might not always be the most accurate person with his takes.
They're kind of
but
hostile, though, like, with, like, in general. Like, with
Okay.
their way of, like, looking at sports. Like, with soccer and stuff, it's like, I'm always just, like, off-put. I'm like, can we just get, like, Rebecca Lowe on this? Or, like, you know, just somebody that can reasonably integrate themselves with, like, in posture to the game, right? Like, I feel like they're bad at posturing, and they're always trying to... or wait, maybe they are posturing, and what I'm saying is that they're trying to inject too much of themselves into it, where they're offsetting the feel of the game, which is like what has this ESPN tinge to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I like this one pod that has a bunch of ex-NBA players on it. Gilbert Arenas is the guy who actually hosts it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got some other guys like Kenyon Martin, who I used to love watching him when he played for the New Jersey Nets back in the day. But back in the day, like 01.
The New Jersey Nets,
or
baby.
02. Yeah,
Dude,
02,
I have
03.
no idea what the fuck was happening. All I know is
okay.
I was gonna be fucking Michael Jordan, number 2.
You? Yeah.
Yeah. Space Jams. You ever listen
One
to
of
the soundtrack?
Best, dude, that is a classic. Absolutely. I still vibe out to that. And like my daughter Maisie loves that track as well. We don't watch it that frequently, but whenever we do play it, she does like it.
It brings up a theme in my life where I will mistake being interested in something based on how great the music is that's associated with that activity. So in this case, this music was fucking banging.
Yeah.
So I go outside.
Whoever came up with the idea to do stuff like that, you know? Absolutely.
And it was incredible. I had all like these little kits, dude. I was like into basketball. When I was 10, I was like, I just had this sadness overcome me. I was like, I can't do this well. And then I was like, I'm going to no longer do this. But it goes back to like, even with, I went and studied like, French history in college for a good period of it. And like, I only got interested in that because of Coldplay's Viva La Vida in 2008.
Oh, okay.
Just the imagery and like the sound of like how epic it could be to consider that album in relation to the French Revolution. I was always just like, oh, that really like brings in this kind of spirit of like the sound of what I would assume could be epic and sounds,
Whatever album that was that they did with that song, that was arguably, if not their best album ever. Like, think of how many bangers were on that. Lovers in Japan is my favorite Coldplay song ever.
And then like the other version of it, there was like a second B-side version.
Never heard that one, but I guess I have some homework to do.
Yeah, there was something there. It was because they did some second release, and it might be like an acoustic version or something like that. So it's nothing like, I think it was probably an acoustic version. But dude, they are unreal, dude.
Oh yeah.
Like Coldplay was kind of like just for me always top peak.
Clocks
art.
obviously is one of their biggest, if not their biggest record.
The biggest record.
But Lovers in Japan still takes the cake for me.
Dude, and you don't, I have never felt more connected, other than maybe like something as epic as like The Black Parade by you know what I mean? Like My Chemical Romance kind of did the theatrical thing like that.
I wasn't a huge fan of the album, but I understand it does have a cult 100%. Following for sure, and I understand that.
I get that too, because I was not like the same cultural shift. Like Coldplay created, like they're a paradigm shift.
They're still going.
And they're still
good. In my opinion, anyways.
It's amazing. Yeah, I love all of it.
Maybe not to the same, I guess.
You can't always be inspired, right?
No, and you shouldn't always sound the same either. So what I appreciate about them is that they're always evolving, I feel like, with each album.
They really are, yeah.
It's got a different flair, different sound for each piece.
Yeah, they'll like
actually, that's what makes them true artists, in my opinion.
I agree with that.
I mean, you can't be going for 20 plus years in the music business and not be an artist at that point, right?
No.
They're constantly reinventing themselves.
They are, and they do it so gracefully, and they do it in a way where everyone just admires it. And honestly, dude, what I love about him too.
Who has anything bad to say about Coldplay?
You don't have anything bad to say, because he comes out here and he plays his songs that you've only loved your whole life, and you're just sitting there and you're like, oh man, this isn't like a incredible like Taylor Swift vocals, but it's like I love how just like I know that this person was, like. I remember when that came out. I remember, what this, there's just so much meaning in Coldplay.
Yeah, their music actually is like a time machine for me. When I listen to some of their old stuff, it brings me back into like my early teens when I first started listening to their music.
Crazy, dude.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I agree, though. Yeah, that's great.
But kind of tailoring it back to what we started with, which was the landing on the moon. Okay, Neil Armstrong, first human ever to land on the moon.
First man.
My take is that I do think that we landed on the moon. I'm not going to say
I think I'm a little on that side.
I don't know if the video that was portrayed on television for folks to see was real or not. And
or maybe there's like certain sections that
I'm just saying, like,
wrong.
Maybe they lost the tape. I mean, it looks really wonky, but at the same time, maybe it's real. And if it is, oh well. I also don't have a hardcore stance on that, but I definitely believe we landed on the moon.
And honestly, how do you know with these sorts of things where the source of the truth is? Because Where do you go?
Know.
Where's the first? Where's the primary source?
I don't know.
That's like you gotta.
What difference does it make? Even if we didn't, what does it matter? What does it matter anyways?
Dude, it doesn't matter. You just
even if we didn't land on the moon, what difference does it make?
Oh no, yeah, for sure, because it doesn't matter now. But it's like it's important to think about because it's like were we being duped? Were we all part of a political scheme? Oh, hello, Apollo. Dude, he's got some shit to say. Should we bring him in?
It don't matter to me.
Just bring him in.
Alright. He's gonna run away.
Oh, he got it. Oh, this is cool. Huh? Honestly, I think he was just beckoning me to like come and grab this bonus beer.
It's a good idea. You are low.
The little bonus. All right, so
There you go.
brought to you by Bonus Beer.
bonusbeer.com. Okay, but getting into the space topic again.
Okay,
moon,
yeah.
Right?
Let's launch.
Okay.
Let's launch in there, dude.
Let's just think about this, okay? We're really gonna taper off though, but it's still amongst the space conversation, which is.
I can't wait to taper off.
Do extraterrestrial beings exist?
Dude.
No. Wholehearted answer. What
Okay,
do you think? Physical beings. Physical.
So, yeah. Okay.
Do you think that they exist?
I think there's no way they don't.
Thank you.
Ever.
I would also agree. So
based on everything. But I get how it's like maybe gonna be way different, dude, and I hope it's like Star Wars where everyone's like got different little tentacles and shit. It's like, oh dude, cool. I'm Porcupine Fox, dude. I'm the Porcupine Fox. That's my thing. My people do that. You know, like that'll be sick.
I would love if they do exist, which I assume that they do someplace. And who knows, maybe they just look like us as well. I have no idea how life just forms for sentient beings. I have no idea. So,
dude, I think it does though?
It's possible.
There's no fucking way that you've ever gone. No, you cannot think that there isn't that like that'd be so sad to think of like
we're the
not
only ones in the entire universe when we know we can actually see with our James Webb telescope 100 billion galaxies. Each galaxy has approximately 100 billion stars, which means that approximately as well each star has a planet that rotates around it. So we're saying 100 billion times 100 billion
and they keep pointing
chances.
out all these Earths, dude.
We're saying like, 0% exists?
Because we don't physically have empirical evidence that this exists because we can't see anything, right? Obviously.
Okay.
That is the reason. And you know what's so funny is people are, and this is a great contrast of the human mind that's really interesting here. Is like, no, we cannot believe. We must not believe that there are aliens, for there are none here that we've seen yet.
It's like, no crap, they're out in space.
But dude, people are out here believing things that are just fucking made up as shit. And it's like, you're going to have some assurance in that when you can't even just let aliens in the door and like open up your mind to the aliens.
To say, hey, you know what? I'm never going to say that there isn't such thing or isn't a possibility.
It's audacious to say that they don't exist.
It is wild.
It's audacious.
But it's okay. I also understand some of those people's minds.
I don't know what they look like, man. I don't know what the fuck's happening.
Well,
I
have no idea what they look like.
Shit. Like giants, you know? Like rocks that are fucking moving, like Lord of the Rings.
Probably no rocks moving, but I would say definitely potential giants. Why not?
Why not?
Depends on how, I guess they were made on a different planet.
I don't know why I put my pinky up there. Felt kind of fancy.
Round 2. Nice.
Round 2, baby.
You
ever seen that happen on this show? I haven't seen that happen yet.
It's just one of those days.
It's just like, one of those days. Dude, remember that guy we worked with, Nick? And he was always like, it's just one of those days. And it was like based on that lyric.
I miss Nick. He was a good human.
Dude, he was the best, man. But we were homies, dude. Big homies.
Yeah, you were. I went to a Lupe Fiasco concert with him, and that was a lot of fun.
God, dude.
It was such a great concert.
We went and saw Chelsea in Washington, D.C. Like, he was like the one person that was down to do that.
I mean, it would just be fun to just see one of those good teams anyways, even if you're not a fan of any specific team.
Exactly.
Just
That's what it was, because it was like, oh fuck yeah, you can see an English team play. Like, let's go see that.
Yeah, why not?
Like I'm in the state that I'm normally not in ever. So.
Well, Washington D.C.'s not a state, but yeah, close enough.
Dude, it's so a state, dude. It's the state of the district of the state. It's district of the state. It's a district. It's not a state. Yes, sir.
T.S.
It's so true though. That is like a great one to just be like.
I think this is our worst pod yet.
It's hands down.
We're so out there. It's great.
I think it's a great contrast from our last one that was way too serious.
Oh no, that was actually really good though. I thought.
Oh, it was incredible. We did great work out there. We were really thinking.
We were diving into things for sure.
Yeah, and I mean,
we were peeling back the onion layers.
We were,
yeah.
And I think it's something that's just commendable. Like, you can't always have a good, brain bang up. You know what I mean?
I guess so.
Have a good brain attack.
Brain attack is probably the best way to explain it.
It's cool. It's a great thing. So yeah, I'm glad today. It's like it's a little later. It's just nice to kick back, have a second beer.
Yeah, why not? Thursday night. And the Timberwolves are going to win.
The Timberwolves are going to
Game 2.
win.
Yep.
Game 2. I mean, I watched them yesterday. It was tough.
It wasn't. It was 2 days ago. But yeah, I mean, that was a terrible game to watch.
That was tough.
That sucked. I was pretty upset.
It was really hard. It was hard to watch because I hadn't watched basketball in a long time.
They couldn't hit anything. But then again, what I didn't understand was like they were missing Steph Curry. Okay, after 13 minutes.
Because he got injured, right?
Yeah, but after 13 minutes, and you still lose like that.
Was his finger like fucked?
I'm not quite sure what specific
I heard
body
his
injury.
Finger
probably
was fucked.
I mean,
it was like. And then people kept like whacking it.
Oh gosh, yeah, he'll be back by Game 5 though.
Okay,
is what I heard. He was out today as well, so 20+ point win. I mean, kind of makes sense. I imagine once he's back for Game 5, it could pick up and be difficult again.
I hope so. I hope it's like. Really
I don't know that. I just want to go back to the Western Conference Finals, all rested up. Our guys are all good.
No one's getting hamstring injuries.
Yeah, right. Save it for the finals. You want to go all out and injure yourself, go for it then.
That brings up a point about sports, since we're on the topic of
go for
Minnesotan sports.
Oh, gosh.
Just like, I don't know anything about this, but it's a great topic. Athletes. Are we pushing our athletes to the point where we're losing the beauty of the game? Because we're losing the integral pieces, the chess pieces that we love to watch play out. You lose a striker, you lose a fucking goalie, it's just game over if you don't have a backup. And it's like,
are you talking about the Loons right now?
Probably. I am not even watching the Loons because every game I'm like not amused as much. I'm just like, I need it to get better.
I remember watching one of their games and thought, I don't know if I could ever watch this again.
Dude, see, I've said that
only because it's so unorganized. And I say that because the teams don't look like they're in sync in any sort of way.
It's really, honestly, so this is how I know.
Bad passing.
This is
how is that possible?
Dude,
that's one of the basics.
Okay, yes, they can't pass.
They cannot pass.
Sure, maybe now they're playing really systematic, programmatic styles of play where they're keeping in positions and stuff. But the reason I know the MLS is just this isn't a real league was because I was sitting in the supporters section and everyone's got the drums. First of all, fuck off with the drums. I love drums.
They're
but
trying to have fun, dude. Why do you gotta hate on it?
But no, I get that you understand drums because of other sports. It's just not normally a thing. So it's just kind of
they're just trying to make it their own thing.
So you're hearing that shit, but then, dude, what I love is this guy picks up the ball. One of our own players, this guy did something a tackle on him that he didn't like.
Yeah.
Picks up the ball, throws it directly at the other player's face.
Why?
Dude, because he got tackled or something and was upset about it, and he just so red card, and the dude's gone. And so at least the ref knew what to do, which I thought was good.
Yeah. Yeah, figured it out. You know, you can't do that. This is supposed to be a game that we're all playing here.
And I was just like, really? I was like, really? So this is what I'm watching. Like, what I do it for is I love going there. I love the atmosphere.
Oh,
I love the...
I have never been to the actual game. I'm just saying, like, I watch them on TV.
It is
bad.
Absolutely brutal. I go to these games, dude.
Yeah.
And it's brutal. Because now the price
The stadium looks cool, though. Let's be real. The
has
stadium
gone
looks cool.
up.
Yeah.
They're almost boxing me out where I was like $20 a seat. Low, yeah, I could go to that.
Yeah,
for $20.
why not? Yeah.
It was incredible, dude, for like a certain period of my life, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of now, it's like, okay, you're trying to charge me like $50
to go watch this.
To go watch this type of shit.
Nope. Not gonna happen.
I could also save this money.
Yep.
And just like go watch a game anywhere else.
Yeah.
like
have tons of beers if you want.
Tons of beers, dude. Tons of beers like today. Like today, double beers.
Why not? Yeah.
Yeah. So.
What was the X-Files thing that you were saying?
So I didn't really have an agenda there other than the X-Files. One of the best channels I've probably ever seen in my life on YouTube.
I don't think I've seen the X-Files. I thought you were talking about the show.
Yeah. Oh, not the X-Files. What's his name? The dude isn't it the X-Files?
I have no idea.
On YouTube, dude. The guy that's with the conspiracy theories?
No, are you talking about the
name?
Y-Files, dude?
There you go. Y-Files.
Y-Files is great. I've been watching that for a year since... what's crazy is, like, I started with him. I think he had, like, maybe 60,000 followers at this time.
X-Files.
But he was still making really good content, you know?
He just makes insanely good content.
Incredibly good at what he does.
It's inspiring.
Incredibly good.
I just love watching him go out there, and he's, like, 5 days ago, he made this video with Hecklefish. Hecklefish is pumping out ads.
Best.
He's just
a
genius for doing that. Like, to be honest, like, he's just a genius. Because it's like, let me take this part of my show that I hate having to do and just, like, make this, like, so dumb, but yet so, like, funny and entertaining that, like, it does work, right? Like, and it's just, like, it's so smart.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the guy is just so well orchestrated.
Yeah.
And you can see all of the, like, foresight and everything he plans out. It's just very, very, like, yeah, I mean, it's just one of those people where you're like, same with, like, Rob Words.
Yeah.
Another really good one is Rob Words. He just dissects language to the point where you're just
You know who else is good? Nerdrotic.
Dude, Nerdrotic? That's just a perfect name.
So, Nerdrotic does great takes on, like, reviewing shows, movies, his thoughts on certain things, mostly around nerd stuff, right?
Okay.
He's a huge Star Wars fan. He decimates Disney all the time. However, I do think his takes are hilarious.
Well, it's so
because
easy.
they're so easy to actually do. The other piece was he destroys Amazon and the Rings of Power. He hates it with a passion. And you know what? That's what made me love him even more, because he's saying how I feel about the show. Screw Rings of Power. Don't watch season 3 that's coming out. Don't even think about watching 1 and season 2.
And if they say they're going to cancel it the next season, they're not.
It doesn't even matter.
It's going to be like...
Who cares what Amazon says? Don't watch that. It is the worst show that you could ever try to feast your eyes on.
It is one of the worst beasts of, like, the capitalist complex. It's just so
How do I take something beautiful and that was so natural and I could utilize the content?
Crush it into a corporate
Let me do the complete opposite of everything that exists within the lore and the actual writings.
Just disrespect it.
The professor, dude? How do you disrespect the professor
especially,
like that?
Dude, think about being a motherfucker. That's a fucking genius.
Bezos probably had no idea that they're going to make it this bad.
Think about being a motherfucking genius like Tolkien.
Yeah.
And then you come out here and you're dead for like only 100 years or whatever. Not even that long, dude. You haven't even died that fucking long. And you're already getting your shit fucked on. Your shit's getting fucked on.
Okay.
We should be revering it.
But some hardcore fans actually hated the Lord of the Rings movies, because there were a lot of parts that actually
That's an interesting take.
Yeah, well, it's because there were I shouldn't say a lot of parts.
Imagine hating those films.
If I were to try to actually say like what was canon, what wasn't, I would say 25% of the Lord of the Rings films was not canon.
Yeah.
And that is a
beautiful.
But you know what? That's okay.
Pepper in
that gives someone like Peter Jackson to be very creative.
So what you just pointed out, that's a C+.
25%.
That's a C+ on the creative scale of giving notoriety to the.
That means 75% was based on the lore,
honoring the actual thing that makes it all make sense. Because otherwise, you're dealing with Galadriel jumping into the water for 4 fucking years.
Dude, but then it wasn't even that. She was swimming like 200 miles on her own.
Dude,
without breaking a sweat.
I was like, I don't know what is going on.
Yeah.
And that was
she didn't know what was going on
the entire time I was watching that show.
And then she randomly shows up on a raft with Sauron, who she's been searching for thousands of years.
Dude, no.
That's crazy.
No. Because apparently these great beings just can't feel it out. Even though the whole thing about great beings is they always are like feeling each other out.
Are you talking about the elves?
Well, just like she would be able to feel the presence, I would assume.
Of course, yeah.
Right? She's a fucking elf.
Well, Sauron is a necromancer of a sort, so of course she could feel any of those negative vibes, right? Or I guess it would be an aura, a negative aura, right? Because he does magic. She does magic. She's actually one of the most, if not the most magical person in the entire lore, and they gave her 0 magic ability in the entire show. They made her
of her actual character.
I get so upset.
So let's just take it and then let's pad it up with really dumb tropes of feminist qualities, right? Because these are dumb tropes. Like not everyone needs to be Joan of Arc.
True.
Not everyone wants to be Joan of Arc. So does she have to be this way to be a powerful woman?
Make her like an Elsa at that point. I don't care, but at least she's got magical abilities, which follows the story.
I just think they could have gone with the Khaleesi vibe. Is just go with the vibe of just absolute lord over everything, but just gentle natured.
Sure.
And what she's described as in the books that make sense,
yeah,
that add up, that have great storylines that connect with each other and have these huge, insane webs of information that all feed into each other. You get something so intelligent by the end of it that's oh, one person did that. That's so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. With paper.
Paper.
Dude, right?
No, screw Amazon though. That is not okay.
Amazon.
I'm so.
I love Amazon for the.
I love Amazon for everything else. I hate their shows.
Their shows are tough. They need to work on that.
Their shows suck.
They should honestly just work
except
on that.
Reacher was really good. Reacher was really good.
That's what my dad says. He likes that.
I would expect Jimbo to actually be a Reacher.
He would like
Reacher
that.
fan.
Jimbo loves that.
That's okay.
Yeah.
He grew up in that era. I think. He's probably a huge Top Gun fan.
He's in that kind of
right?
Yeah, he's totally
nothing wrong with
American
that. I like Top Gun. It was good.
Vibe, yeah.
I'm not saying it's the best movie I've ever seen, but I enjoyed it.
Well, and also just action is good. Anything with good, a sick action film.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think.
I mean, there were parts that were corny, of course, but
brutal.
But
absolutely.
that's what you expect from a movie like that.
That's what you'd expect. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
But getting back to Lord of the Rings, though, dude, the Rings of Power. Galadriel shows up on the raft, finds Sauron. She's been searching for him for thousands of years. Eventually, they're about to get eaten by some random sea monster. And then the sea monster's like, I'm going to go after everybody else except for you two. But I'm going to make it seem like I'm coming for you two.
Dude, it's...
and then they're saved.
Why?
They go to... what's the name of that place now? Starts with an N.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about.
Are you talking about the island, Numenor?
Yes, Numenor. Thank you.
Oh, I was like,
Narnia. Narnia, which by the way, Netflix is doing Narnia. However, Aslan the lion is gonna be a woman, not a woman lion, a woman instead.
Okay.
How does that make any sense? Are you even doing Narnia at this point?
I'm kind of into it.
No, are you even doing Narnia?
No.
You're not.
That's like
Wicked. The lion is the main character.
It's like a cool, I don't know. It's
that is
very
stupid
fantastical.
to me. No, that I'm boycotting that one too. Netflix, get your shit together, dude.
That's a Netflix original?
It will be, yeah.
That sounds like layoffs, dude.
Sounds like they ran out of stuff to do. No, seriously, look at Hollywood right now. They're just grasping for anything that used to be relevant. They're like,
Absolutely,
we have no creative ideas at all. We're going to buy every franchise, redo the movies.
That's because
everything
you know
else.
This is? It's the corporatification of creative art. It's the fact that everyone in those jobs that make all those things, they're all like high up and they earned it. Yeah. But it's like you are just a bot making bot shit because that's what you're here to do. You're not risking it all.
Be the executives, do your business
stuff. You're
going
to do whatever people tell you.
Don't dictate how a movie or show should be made. That is the dumbest.
It's painful to see. It's
up to the executives to pick the right producer and director, right?
Yeah.
So if they just pick the right folks, let those folks just run with it then.
That's how.
Don't give them an agenda to be like, you have to tailor it to this and this. And it's like, no, just let them follow the story. Especially if you're buying a franchise, because you don't want to negate having your fan base. That is the whole reason why you bought the franchise.
So I think it's like they need to start setting some goals for themselves. Like, let's get
Amazon?
some real KPIs.
Or just any of this. Oh my
Amazon.
gosh.
First of all,
don't talk about KPIs.
Let's talk about KPIs.
No.
Does anyone fucking care about your stupid movie?
No.
No? Okay, well, you probably should think about making good movies instead of fluffing out content that's just... Honestly, there's so much shit out there now that
there's so many bad movies that have a big box office, and then the news talks about them as like, oh, they had a crazy great box office. And it's like, who cares? The movie was ass.
You're like, yeah, they have a great marketing team. I don't know. It's like, okay, good for you.
Yeah.
But you just don't want to know that because it's like, this is a horrible movie and I want to just watch a good movie. And I don't care about what is going on in the background. Like, going back to that little stray cat movie I was watching.
Yeah.
What?
I don't know. It's probably you're the one that watched it.
It's like a 4-letter word, but it was really cool.
But I remember you telling me about it, and it made me think that I wanted to watch it.
You will want to watch it. Flow. It's like such a good vibe because it has nothing to do with it, but it's flow because they're constantly in transition.
Okay, I like that.
And it's just this artistic thing.
Well, I'm glad that's what you took from it. That's probably the whole point of it, right?
So here's my thing.
What?
If you're gonna insist on being a corporate giant,
okay.
Why not create little bubbles of creative geniuses within your silos of corporate bureaucracy?
I don't know.
So why not create spaces for people to actually be creative within those corporations? Because I feel like you just got too many bots.
Yeah. Well, think about this. Think about Amazon, the executives that bought whatever specific rights, which whoever that they hired for that botched that job, clearly. And the reason why, they bought the appendix of the Lord of the Rings and the rights to the Hobbit or something like that. It's like
they position themselves to fail
in a stupid way. But you spent $100+ million on just these types of rights, and then you still screw it up.
Weird move.
So regardless, let's just say that they did it right, because you have New Line Cinema coming out with a Lord of the Rings movie of The Hunt for Gollum, and they're bringing back Ian McKellen, who is the real Gandalf in my opinion. However, he's super old today. I don't know if I want him back, because let's say he dies at any point, and this is supposed to be like a multi-movie type of ordeal. I don't want to see random, stupid Gandalf who's not real Gandalf in the sequel.
Dumbledore,
dude.
New Dumbledore every fucking time. Dude.
I do gotta say, whoever did the Harry Potter films, and I know it was a multitude of different directors for each movie, but whoever did that did it right. And the reason why, when they did their transition, when that Dumbledore actually died and they went to the new one, it was a good transition. Actually, I felt like the next one was very lively. However, that doesn't follow the lore of Harry Potter books, because Dumbledore was not very uptick like that. The new Dumbledore in that in those movies, right?
Yeah, it was much more
he's supposed to be more laid back, like the first one.
Look at this Dumbledore who's got a personality. It's like
that's what it was. Yeah, he had a personality.
And it's
honestly,
it was amazing.
It was still creative to me, and it made it fun. It did. So it didn't matter that it didn't follow the lore.
Because there were so many other really intense personalities on the other side, where it's like you just needed something going on. You needed Dumbledore to throw down a little bit. Yeah. Unfortunately, with the events that occur, it's a very harrowing tail.
Yeah. But we were talking about Amazon, which was how are they going to be successful with something like this now that they screwed it up so royally?
They can't.
In my opinion, you just start from scratch at this point. You act like these series didn't even exist, or these seasons, right? So you go ahead and you say, hey, we have the rights to this.
That's why they called it Rings of Power, because they're going to be like, this is our stupid series where it's like, it's not even like, we didn't even do that.
So
like,
why not?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but why not say, okay, we have the rights to the character Gandalf. We don't have the rights for all of his stories that he was part of within the books, but we have the rights to the character. We can still make a series on Gandalf if we wanted to, and the other wizards. What if you just did a show on the 2 blue wizards that we know nothing about?
Okay,
that's an easy win.
But
that is a layup, Amazon. You're welcome.
What you're doing here
you're
is
welcome.
Creating easy opportunities to win. Okay, and honestly, like
you're welcome.
And these are all things that there's a list. There's a list that goes on. It's kind of like Legos when they're building their next like scene of like what they should build for the Minas Tirith.
Excellent layup.
So if we're gonna call out shit that needs to happen based on large corporations failing,
you could do like a random character that doesn't exist that you just make up from scratch of a character from Minas Tirith. How cool would that be?
Dude, fucking
and then
Faramir.
Make them into like
Faramir.
Or you can do Faramir.
Hey, I'm Faramir, and I'm like definitely gonna take the leftovers of whatever Aragorn has.
So Peter Jackson is hilarious in my opinion for portraying Faramir in those movies as like the dude who constantly gets crapped on.
He
does everything that he's supposed to, right? And he still gets blasted.
He honestly reminds me so much of myself as like a second child. You know, it's like, oh my god, I know exactly. Like Boromir's out there being dope as shit. It's like
being so cool. He's not even trying. He's just succeeding.
Just succeeding. It's like, great. Okay, I guess we want Osgiliath not to fall. So I guess I'm on board.
Send the kid I don't care about in case he dies.
Give me some attention. I love that shit.
Tell me you love me.
Tell me you love me. He never gets anything, dude. It's brutal.
It is brutal. His dad shafts him.
It's hilarious, dude. Yeah. What a funny, like, that's a very stark thing to go for. They're like, dude, no, you guys fucking hate each other. Like, literally, this guy doesn't give you the time of day. Yeah. He's your dad. Yeah. Go. And he's just like,
good luck.
He's just like sad.
He doesn't cry about anything. He just takes it. I think there was only one time that, what was he, shedding tears for something? I forget.
Dude, he was shedding tears for probably Eowyn.
Probably.
I don't know.
You know what though?
Oh
good
no,
for,
maybe
good,
Gollum.
Good for,
no, he didn't care about Gollum.
Good for both of them. They ended up together. That was cool.
I loved that. I thought that was a hilarious tie-in.
Especially because Eowyn got completely shut down by
And it
Aragorn.
Was totally very like...
And good for Aragorn. He's like, hey, I got wifey at home.
You know? Yeah.
Can't be messing with you, girl.
Well, and dude, it just shows like people of certain notoriety have to be matched up. So, like, it doesn't make any sense that they're together, like, because they never would have intersected with each other. It's just like...
Aragorn was like, hey, I like your vibe, like, we could be friends, and then...
Should meet my homie.
But he totally let her on, let's be real.
And you know, Aragorn probably was like, dude, you gotta meet my fellow brethren. Like, my fellow, what is it, Dunedain. Like, me and my fellow Dunedain. Like, you need to fucking, like...
They're gonna live forever as well.
Do you want to live forever?
200 plus years or something crazy.
Unnatural life potential.
Yeah. Dude was what, in his 80s at that time?
And, dude, he was old.
Crushing it.
He was old and no one even knew. Anyone was like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I fought with your grandfather, and she's like, what?
No one like explains that enough to people. Like,
I feel bad for people who never read the books, who just have no context whatsoever. They're just like,
dude, yeah, you like, and it honestly, they do a great job of like not harping on it. Yeah. They don't like bring it up a lot. Right. It's just kind of like, oh, that was a weird like in-passing thing, and she's just, and I love how like her face. I think in that moment, she's just kind of like.
What?
Like, it was not like a
As she's serving him stew of some sort.
Not bad. Like,
dude, what are they eating in that stew is what I wonder. Have you seen it? It looks disgusting. Like, she made him some hot water and, like...
It was, like, dead
a
rabbit.
Ball of tofu or something.
It's like you grabbed a rabbit.
Is that what it was?
And, dude, I have no idea. It looked horrible. There was no... It was... Where do you even get broth on the road like that?
That's probably why it tastes so bad.
Do you think they'd carry that with them, the broth?
No.
Like, where do they get this? They go make it. They
Telling you, they just got a fire going. Probably just got some water going.
The food that they eat, like the only person that
We
I want to
live
have me make
in the best
a meal.
time frame ever for us to eat whatever we want. I would not survive.
Have you ever gotten a meal made by Samwise Gamgee?
Dude,
that guy looks like he knows
carries
how to
salt and pepper in his bag while on his way to save
with some
the
elven
universe.
bread,
dude.
Because he knows what a good side is.
Yeah. Good for him for finding the lembas too when he did.
Dude, he found those lembuses, dude. When he saw that shit, he was, dude. I loved the rage that he had in that moment. He was just
I was totally with that.
Because he was like, dude, remember when I made that vow to Frodo?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden,
Frodo just forgets about it. Doesn't even care because the devil's in his ear because of Gollum. God, freaking! It wasn't Smeagol. Smeagol's actually a nice guy.
He is a nice guy.
But Gollum is not. Yeah, obviously.
He has that really interesting, and that's what I think is so cool about Tolkien.
More like a
kind
baby,
of put that.
Is what I feel like. He's just got
he's
that
very
baby feel.
He says baby things because he's like, like
right.
he does. Yeah. His phrasing is very baby, but like it's weird because it's like.
But that's how his character was developed, anyways, in the lore.
And the way that they did it is like they were like, this is kind of just how this dude was, and he like was kind of strange.
Yeah.
And
but Smeagol, I don't think. So like the Smeagol character, not the original before he turns into Gollum. I'm talking about like the different side of Gollum being Smeagol, the happier one, right? Mm-hmm. I don't think that he always had that side to him. I think that was like reawoken when he met Frodo and Sam.
The happy side?
Yes. Otherwise, I think that he was straight up in Gollum mode for like hundreds of years, if I'm not mistaken. And I say that because think about when he meets...
Well, it makes sense because the familiarity amongst hobbits,
the books. I'm just saying, like, the book itself, The Hobbit, think about when Gollum meets Bilbo, right? Yes, he's playful to a degree, but he's, like, dark when he's presenting, what games does he want to play with Bilbo, right? And then, of course, it's the riddles in the dark is what they do.
See, I maybe I'm making this super boring, but it's like I viewed it more as like, oh, I am a hobbit, and I used to be a hobbit.
Yeah.
But now I've lost my entire sense of self over the brutal era that I've lived through with this horrible life that just keeps going on. And he already seemed to kind of not have it together as a normal person.
Yeah, right.
So then
clearly he was killing people.
Prolonged
he killed
life.
a person,
He just like saw his people again and was like, oh, I know what to do with these people. Like they like riddles.
Yep.
And like I thought that was just such a weird, because like I think that your take on the awakening could be part of that,
Could be. I'm just gonna go against one part though, because I could have swore, though I said his approach, I think I misspoke in the way that I explained that. Bilbo, I think, asked Gollum, let's play a game, to buy himself more time to find a way to get out of where he was. And then realized, I can use this game to have this creature tell me how to get out of here.
Yeah, and he would have not known that he was a hobbit.
Correct.
Even at that point, right? Because he had no information.
Right. Until...
And did he look like one? Could he kind of piece it together?
Well, hold on. Bilbo does say in the book, he does tell him where he's from and that he is a hobbit.
Okay, so...
But it comes up in conversation. Gollum doesn't just figure it out right away.
That's kind of the thing, is like, I think that is an important aspect of their relationship, because that's why, like, it doesn't... It's the commonality that they share that is why it doesn't immediately turn into, like, I'm killing you now. Mm-hmm. Like species or whatever. Like a bird would get killed by a... I don't fucking know. What do they get killed by? What do birds even die by?
I don't know.
A shotgun.
I mean, people?
The alpha predator. The human.
People. The human. I mean, birds get killed by other birds, too.
Dude,
or raccoons kill them, or...
Apollo already got his first rabbit of the season. It was crazy to watch, man. Since he was a part of this episode, I figured bring it up.
Oh, wow. You got to watch this decimation?
No, I walked outside because I was, like, going to go out.
Oh, that's good. You didn't have to watch it, at least.
No, I did, because I wouldn't have known, but he was, like, waiting with it in his mouth, and he's just, like, looking at me, and it was, like, he almost bolted in, but I stopped him, so he didn't bring it in. But then it was, I mean, it was like, it was not totally gone yet. And that was the worst part. It's like, what do you do in these ethical dilemmas?
What did you do?
So
Did you chop its head off?
I did not. I realized it was probably about 30 seconds till probably imminent death.
Oh, so he was pretty close to dying.
It was pretty bad.
Was it like a broken neck? What was it?
Complete dismantling of the whole torso area.
Oh, okay.
And so it's just so awful though, because I had to like, scoop it up, and then you see the little eyes, and then it just like kept breathing right at the end, and it's like
where'd you put him?
So I put him in the front, and then he inevitably died. I just like didn't really have an instrument to like, and I don't know how to like. What do you do?
You have an axe. You just cut his head off, dude. End it for him.
I don't know if like.
You would have. That's what you should have done.
I don't know though.
What do you mean you don't know? You knew he was gonna die.
I know, but like, I don't know.
You knew he was gonna die.
He's gonna die, but like, ethically, it's like, okay.
Ethically, you put him out of his misery at that point. He had to sit there and just wait for it to end.
Assisted suicide.
Dude, yeah, I mean, dude was gonna die anyway.
No, it's true, and I honestly was shocked.
Who knows? Maybe what you did was actually the nicer thing. I don't know. Maybe he was not in like terrible pain.
I was like, he's going to die, and he's already basically dead. And if I did anything else to him, it would be like more trauma.
Okay.
Before the eventual death. So it's like, because I'm like already just trying to get
that
it out
makes sense. You don't want to. You don't want to have like your last moment of some dude taking an axe to your head.
Yeah, because it was in the 3 season porch. It was not in the house, but like I got it right before it went in the house.
And you put him out front.
Yeah.
And then he got to stare at the sky at least before he died.
Had a great.
That's better.
It was serene.
That's better at least. Okay.
It was honestly horrible. Like it makes you really think about your.
I don't like killing animals.
Your pecking order.
Yeah, I don't like killing animals.
No, it's not for me. Not something I'm interested in.
I like eating them, and I know that's technically killing them, but...
Yeah, but it's being avoidant of the supply chain cycle.
I've killed animals before to eat them, and it's just... There's nothing fun about it for me. It's like... I don't feel like I accomplished anything. I actually feel bad, like I just took advantage of something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's how I felt.
Yeah. Because it's like a...
It's like they couldn't defend themselves anyways. I got a friggin' gun.
It's a vulnerable creature.
Yeah.
That is under the tutelage of my greater brain.
Yeah. And I'm not going to knock anybody who does go hunting and stuff like that. Like if that's your jam, that's your jam. For me...
Most people out here, it's their jam.
It's not my jam.
I also am like with you. I think something over time changes. I think that affects your view. When you're young, you don't really... I don't think you think about death as much. You don't really know what it means yet and stuff. So I think like it's easier to inflict things when you're younger, I think, than to do it later. Mm. And then you just kind of like you just get old and you start to appreciate things more.
I would agree.
And I think that's where like I don't get how people continue to go off and like kill shit. Because it's like I get
it's like how don't you finally come to the grips of like, okay,
I could just
you're gonna go and kill this thing.
Get creative and like
you could go to the gun range and just shoot, or shoot claymores.
Dude, you're gonna see more fun shit when you see the results of shooting at targets than you will if you're fucking...
Clay pigeons, sorry. Claymores is
those things. Yeah, clay pigeons. Get some clay pigeons.
Yeah.
Don't get some real pigeons. I mean, actually, I don't know. I like food.
I would not kill a pigeon.
No.
No, I would definitely not eat one either.
Maybe I would.
Rats of the sky.
Yeah, but they're plump. They're plump rats.
It's just that chest, dude. It's like somebody patting their chest. That's all it is. They don't have that much meat.
Are you serious? They're just pure puffy.
They're just puffy, yeah.
Dude, you can't just be a pure puff.
I mean, like, they're able to expand their chest, so it makes it look like they're bigger.
Oh,
their chest meat is not...
So it's like they're straight up, like their puffiness, their puff thing is like just air.
Imagine
and then
like
feathers.
If you puff out your own chest, okay, your chest is not actually like the meat of your chest is not actually growing.
Oh, dude,
you're just stretching your body out. Is what I'm saying. It's just stretching your body.
No, I think
you're
they're
expanding
plump.
your body.
I think they're plump.
All right,
I think they're way plumper than that.
Go for it. You're allowed to believe it. That was good.
God bless
I
America.
enjoyed that. I think I'm gonna get another one.
Yeah, get it. Do you have the?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
You want to wrap it up?
Yeah, let's wrap it up. Cheers.
I think we finally got past that weird stage.
Yeah, I mean, we...
Can I be the one? Can I be the one? Can I be the one you love? At least until I'm no one. Throw blankets thrown over my stable state of mind, returning the phrase, it'll be just fine. You said something sweet, I can't repeat it. You said something sweet.